Yeah. That's your life, right? Why? Then a lot of time. We're like trying to have all these like. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June regular board meeting. Hello. What? Hi. Okay. We're gonna get started here, and I'm gonna call this meeting to order, and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you. We're gonna get started here with, go right into it with Mr. Steve Emmerts with the recognition of our 2024-25 retirees.
Good evening and thank you. Tonight, we have the privilege of honoring some of this year's retirees. We have a slug of them this year, but many of them couldn't make it tonight. Some have already moved out of state. Others had other obligations. I heard one had a Beaver baseball game. But for those who could attend tonight, we want to take a minute to honor them. I was thinking about this earlier today. People enter education to make a difference. It's a calling. And it doesn't matter if you're a driver who is transporting kids to school, you're somebody who's preparing breakfast or lunch for kids, you're teaching, you're working in our fiscal department, student services department, you're at the front, in the front office greeting parents and kids in the morning. It really doesn't matter what the position is. People are called to this work and they put their heart and soul into it. And so we just want to take a moment tonight to honor these people who have spent a career honoring our staff and our kids. And to kick us off tonight, we'll have Gia come up.
I would like to let the record show that I would need these if I was 8 months pregnant or not. Just saying.
She's a crier.
I'm a crier. Chair Carson, members of the board, Superintendent Downs, thank you so much for having us tonight. Tonight's my honor to recognize a truly remarkable person, Denise Desert. As I contemplated what I would share with you all about Denise and her years of service, I decided that I would let her friends and the data do the talking. Denise was hired with the district 18 years ago to work at Middleton Elementary, and she has been serving students every year since with her friend and partner in crime, Shelly Pickens. This is what Shelly shared with you. Thank you so much for being my kitchen sister for the past 18 years. If everyone had a coworker as hardworking as you, no one would ever complain about going to work. Your ability to work so well with others is truly a gift. Not only are you an amazing coworker, but an incredible friend. Cheers to our time together, past, present, and future. Kathy McCullen at Ridges Elementary shared, the Ridges team really appreciated all of the help from Denise when the Middleton students were here. We were hired the same year and I have really enjoyed working with her. I always appreciate her positive attitude and I will miss her. I hope to be able to work beside her again in the future. Now for the data. I reviewed the past 18 years of reimbursement claims for Middleton Elementary. And over the course of her, yes, I did. All of them. Okay. And over the course of her remarkable career, she has helped serve over 500,000 meals to Middleton students. That's 500,000 student meals prepared by her hands. Each tray a moment of love for her students who walked into our cafeteria hungry. That's 500 students she made sure a student, that's 500 times she made sure a student felt seen, a reminder that someone was looking out for them. For all of those students on all of those days, she showed up with a smile whether everything was going perfectly or if the day was hard. Those 500,000 meals are a legacy of love. To our incredible retiree, Denise, thank you. Thank you for every early morning, every extra effort, every thoughtful act that made a difference in the lives of our students. Congratulations on your well-earned retirement and on your recent promotion to Nana. You will always be a part of our school family.
Thank you, Gina.
Chair Carson, Board of Directors, Dr. Downs, thank you for the opportunity to be here. I have two that are here with me today, Eric and Bruce. If you guys would like to come up here and flank me, be my backup dancers. Really, if anything, I'm their backup dancer.
Your bodyguard.
They're my bodyguards, yeah. So I'll start with Eric. Eric chose to retire at Christmas of this year, and has found himself busier now in retirement than he ever was while he was working for us. He spent most of his early career working in insurance and decided that he wanted something different, so he decided to become a bus driver. And he drove for us started in 2018 and came all the way up through COVID. And we all remember COVID being a time where we spent way too much time on Zoom. And when we came to the summer of 2021, one of our trainers was retiring, and Eric applied to be the new trainer. And he came in for his interview. And it's going to be small, but this is how he showed up to his interview to be a bus driver: wearing a suit coat, shorts, and pink Crocs. That tells you a little bit about the spirit that Eric brought to our department. One of professionalism and a lot of humor. And we got to spend a lot of time laughing and doing a lot of fun things. As trainers, you get to be a little bit evil with your staff and make them do things that are hard and challenging and yet make them grow. So Eric, thank you for your many years of service. Bruce Mapplethorpe. Does Sherwood even do anything without Bruce Mapplethorpe somewhere in the conversation? 53 years Bruce has been a part of our district. He started driving school bus at 18, as he was still, I believe you were still a senior, and they had you start driving.
I didn't have my diploma. I'll
Didn't.
put it that way.
So in 1972, Bruce started driving school bus. So I said, what things happened in 1972 that would be of interest? Bobby Fischer won his first championship as a chess master. The Vietnam War was still in full swing. The last regular Army unit was withdrawn later in the year of 1972, but there was still 43,000 advisors on the ground for another several years. So 1972, full swing of Vietnam. The Watergate scandal broke. The Munich massacre, when the Olympians in Munich were killed, the Israeli Olympians. Pong was released. Apollo 17, the last manned moon mission, happened in 1972. Shaq was born. Gas prices were about 39 cents a gallon. We found different websites that told us different things. And the average home price was about $38,000. So we were wondering how much impact has Bruce had on our district? So I took the numbers of his average student counts for this year and extrapolated backwards. If we assumed the students that he drove, same, however many kids he had in the morning, same number of kids in the afternoon, times 182 days, times 53 years, that comes out to 1.1 million children that have ridden on Bruce's bus. It's approximately 750,000 miles that Bruce has cruised around this country. Just to put that into perspective, that is to the moon, back again, to the moon, and he's on his wayward trip home. In 53 years, Bruce has had a gigantic impact on our kids. It's at least 4 generations of kids that have ridden on his bus. And he has the potential to be transporting the great-grandchildren of the first kids he rode on his bus. And to me, that is just an amazing stat. So Bruce, it is my privilege to have been a part of your last 10 years here in Sherwood.
Thank you.
Thank you. Miranda?
We're going to stand too because Lisa and I don't get to sit much during the day. Good evening, Dr. Downs, Board Chair Carson, Board of Directors. It is an honor tonight to be here to celebrate Lisa Wright. Pablo Picasso said that the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. Lisa is someone who has truly found her purpose in life. That purpose has been helping and caring for the staff and students of the Sherwood School District for more than 24 years. Lisa started working as an administrative assistant at Archer Glen in April of 2001 and moved to Ridges Elementary when it opened in 2009. During that time, she has given selflessly to make our district a better place, supporting 4 different principals, many staff members, and countless students and families. I have had the privilege of working with Lisa for 10 of those 24 years, and I can honestly say that as her principal for the last 7 years, I still don't fully understand all of the things she does in a day. However, I feel like I'm going to get a crash course here really fast when she leaves. When talking to students last week, they helped me make a list of some of the things that they think Miss Lisa does in a day. Number 1, answers the phones. Number 2, hands out tooth necklaces. Number 3, stops bloody noses. Number 4, calls your mom and dad when you're sick. Number 5, holds the office door open so we can get our notes. Number 6, gives students their medicine. Number 7, this one's important, calls all the fire drills on the radios. Number 8, gives you a hug when you're sad. Number 9, takes care of Mrs. Johnson. True story. Number 10, does all the important things. I share this list because to me it sums up Lisa's heart. While I know that she does all the important things, it's the care and love she provides for others that will leave the biggest impact on our school community. She truly loves each of our staff members and our students, and we are grateful for her love. Her dedication to safety, meticulous record keeping, and wealth of knowledge about our school district and our school have saved me more times than I can count. But it's her love for students and our staff and the smile they bring to her face that I will remember most about my years working alongside Lisa. Watching Lisa thoughtfully care for our school community has been a true honor, and we definitely have big shoes to fill when she leaves. She has made an impact on the lives of more students than we could ever imagine, and I am grateful that she chose to share her gifts with our district. Lisa, we will forever be changed for the better because you have given generously to each of us. Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you all.
Next up, I will invite Erin to the podium.
Either side is fine. Good evening, Board of Directors, Chair Carson, and Dr. Downs. Tonight, I have the incredible privilege of honoring someone who has truly been the heart and soul of the Student Services Department, and honestly, of the Sherwood School District, Peggy Harbeck. Peggy's journey with Sherwood began in 1996 when she started as a special ed instructional assistant. From that role to her current position as our data and support specialist, she's never stopped giving her all to our students, our staff, and our community. It's hard to put into words the scope of what Peggy does, because quite frankly, there's very little she hasn't done in our district. She expertly manages a complex and ever-evolving budget. She's supported hundreds of employees with patience, grace, and precision. She submitted detailed and critical state reports without missing a beat. She's maintained our document processes, answered every question under the sun, and anticipated needs before anyone even had to ask. Every day. Peggy is truly a person you go to when you don't know where to go. Her institutional knowledge is unmatched, not just in our department, but across the entire district. If there's something to be known about Sherwood, chances are Peggy knows it. And she does it all with impeccable style and an approach that makes everybody feel valued. She's helpful, wise, and impossibly organized. I've learned so much from you. Peggy is not just a colleague, she's a friend, a mentor, a calm voice in chaos, and an essential thread in the fabric of our district. Outside of work, Peggy's impact on the Sherwood community continues. She and her husband, Charlie, own the beloved Sherwood Antique Mall in Old Town, a place that really reflects her impeccable taste and the community spirit of Sherwood. She also is a proud and loving grandmother to 2 wonderful girls, currently Sherwood students. And if you talk to her for more than a few minutes, you'll know how much joy they bring her. Peggy helps everybody find success. That's whether it's a student in need of support, a new employee learning the ropes, or a district leader navigating complex things. She leads with her heart, and she shows us what it means to serve with excellence, humility, and integrity. While I will deeply miss seeing you every day, Peggy, I'm so excited for what lies ahead for you. More time with your family, more time with friends, more time to travel and to explore and do all the things that you love most. Thank you for your dedication, for your brilliance, your wisdom, your friendship, your tireless work. I'm not going to cry. I'm going to make it through. You have made an indelible mark on our district, and all of us are lucky enough to work beside you. Congratulations, and enjoy every minute of what's next. You have certainly earned it. I have a little gift for you too. Okay, now I get to talk about Nancy. It is my honor to take a few moments tonight to celebrate someone who has had a huge impact on our district as well, on our students and so many of us personally, Dr. Nancy Zamira. Dr. Zamira has served as a school psychologist for Sherwood School District since 2007. That's what the computer said, is that right? Okay, you would know. Okay. Bringing her background as a clinical psychologist and her deep expertise in child development, learning, and behavior to our schools. From the moment she joined our team, Nancy brought a focus on truly understanding students' needs, not just on paper, but in the classroom, in the hallway, and in the hearts of the children we serve. She has conducted thousands and thousands of special education evaluations during her time here. She's still conducting them, in fact. Yes, yeah, you're not done yet. She's guided evaluation teams with clarity and a deep commitment to getting to the root of what students are experiencing. Nancy has an incredible ability to uncover what lies beneath the surface. She doesn't just identify a challenge, she helps the team understand why, and more importantly, what we can do about it. Her solution-oriented mindset has helped countless teams move forward with confidence, and countless students receive the support that they need to thrive. No matter how busy she is, and let's be honest, you are very busy, Nancy always starts with a genuine, "How are you doing?" You do. Before diving into the work, she regularly shares research and helpful materials with all of us, her teammates. These are small gestures repeated over and over that have built relationships, built trust, and reminded us of what really matters. Throughout her career in Sherwood, Nancy has supported nearly every school in the district. I couldn't even keep track. Is there any? Middleton. Okay, there's a couple. I thought you were at Archer Glen for a little bit, but maybe I was wrong. Okay. So nearly every school in our district, and has been an instrumental part of our school psychology team. Her presence has made our schools stronger and more responsive to the needs of all learners. As Nancy steps into retirement, we know you'll be enjoying time with animals, your friends, and the slower pace that you have definitely earned. While we will miss you deeply, we're also so grateful for the time that you've served in Sherwood and for the legacy that you leave behind. Nancy, thank you for your years of service, your heart for students, and your unwavering professionalism. You've made a lasting difference, and we wish you nothing but joy and the peace of no early morning alarm clocks in the next chapter of your life. Which is funny because when I said hi to her, she said that's what she was looking forward to the most. So I was like, I nailed it. Congratulations,
Thank
Nancy.
you. I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I just want to thank you all for the opportunity to do the honorable work that the school psychologists do. I don't teach the kids. I don't do the things that people typically think of, but I think we do make sometimes the biggest difference by asking people to look at children in a different way. And I thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm both sad and excited to send Stephanie off into retirement. Stephanie currently serves as the controller or fiscal manager for the district and has for the past several years. In that role, she has served literally as my right hand and most trusted colleague. And her impact on the organization is significant, I think much more so than people know. One example, as we were entering the financial crisis, Stephanie was the one who discovered the problem and immediately brought it to my attention. Of course, I actually didn't believe her when she told me that. I said, I looked at the financial statement, it said we have plenty of money, and we just sort of moved on. I'm being facetious, but she stuck with her guns, said, no, there absolutely is a problem. And had she not been carefully managing the cash flow and willing to stand her ground, we would have certainly been in a worse place than we are today. And that's just one example of many things she does behind the scenes every day that no one knows about that keep this district moving in the positive direction. She embodies what we are at the core of our organization. She is a learner. When you look at her career, that becomes pretty obvious. She started here nearly 28 years ago as a SPED IA at Hopkins. She worked here for 8 years and then moved to Middleton. Before that, she worked with developmentally disabled adults and worked, this won't surprise you, as a travel wholesaler, for those of you who know her and her hobbies. She went back to school at night, starting in 2004, and by 2007 had earned a degree in accounting. In 2006, she moved into the fiscal office as the sub-coordinator and accounting clerk, and moved up to payroll specialist in 2008. Right in the middle of the pandemic, our controller left with 2 weeks' notice, and Stephanie immediately stepped into the job without any training and just figured it out. And she is a constant learner. She's still learning things all the time. And there are some things that I've just loved about working with Stephanie, many of which are really irreplaceable. One, before I was in the fiscal office, whenever I needed a number I knew I could count on and a quick response, I would email Stephanie, and I would get an answer back soon that was accurate all the time. And I really loved being able to count on that. That's such an important, helpful thing. And it's still true now that I'm in the fiscal office. I ask her for stuff all the time. I'm not sure who I'm going to ask in a couple weeks, but we're working on it. She is deeply committed to the success of our team. She's always thinking ahead. She's thinking about systems. She's pushing me to do the same. And she's pushing teammates to learn and grow. And I asked her if I could say this before I came up here tonight, but she literally made herself sick. She was so worried about some things on our team. She literally was physically ill. She cares so much. She's a hard worker and she always keeps busy. On a recent Friday afternoon at 3:15, when she was on leave working from home, her workday ends at 3:30. She emailed me at 3:15 on a Friday afternoon, 3 weeks before her retirement, and said, "I'm all caught up. Do you have any projects for me to do?" I would think most people would just mail it in at 3:15 and say, "I've done my task," but not Stephanie. She asked for more work. I gave her some stuff to do, and it was done by like 8 o'clock Monday morning, literally. I didn't even have time to address what she had done. She did it so fast. She's trained everyone in the department, including me. When I got hired, she said, "Looks like I'll be training yet another boss." She's willing to be honest with me about how things are going and what she needs from me. She doesn't tell me what she thinks I want to hear. She tells me what she thinks I need to hear. And you don't get that from too many people, and that's a really important thing that we rely on. She's absolutely tenacious. When she uncovers an issue in the books or something that doesn't look right, she'll dig in until she figures it out every time. She is the authority in the district on our contracts with OSEA and SEA, along with Steve. She remembers the subtleties and the history, and that is incredibly valuable to have, and she is the holder of a ton of institutional memory. But it's the things that our team in the district will miss the most. It's the other things. It's the relationships you've built, the laughter you bring to our team, and the bar of excellence you set for the rest of us that will live on. We appreciate your nearly 28 years of service to the district, and we wish your adventurous spirit happy travels as you set off on quite the journey. Thank you very much. I know, I made it. Okay, now I'd ask for our award-winning HR director, Steve Emmert, to come up to the podium, please. The best part is Steve literally thought he was going to get out of this. He figured if he took control of organizing it, that his team would let him get out of it.
The tie was for y'all, not for myself.
Okay. So when I was first hired as a principal at SMS and Steve picked me up to go to lunch in his immaculate red pickup truck, I had no idea what an important part of my life and career he would play. We've worked closely for the past 16 years through a major recession and devastating budget cuts, a pandemic, massive construction projects, a financial crisis, and numerous other smaller challenges too numerous to name. And through it all, Steve has provided calm, steady, thoughtful leadership and a ton of laughter. And most importantly, he's been a great friend to me and many others in the district. Steve is one of the hardest working people I have ever known. He gets to work early and stays until the job is done. Then he goes home, eats dinner, and works some more. In times he's not working on projects for the district, he, along with his wife Sandy, who's wired very similarly, is doing constant projects in their yard. Everything from building chicken coops to planting large vegetable gardens, building retaining walls, pruning trees, projects that I can't even go on to name. Sometimes falling off a ladder or getting hit by a limb, when limbing trees. But it's amazing what one can accomplish with the energy and effort Steve has put into life. He's a man of many talents, has had a long, really long career. He looks so young, I didn't realize how long he'd been working until I looked at all he'd accomplished. He started at Cascade Christian High School in 1983 as an English teacher, and then moved to Sweet Home High School in 1984 to 1990, where he taught English, coached volleyball, and coached softball. From 1990 to 1996, Steve served as a minister and a youth pastor. He'd originally planned it to be a one-year outing, but there was so much demand and so much need for his services that he stayed for 6 years before returning to teaching. In 1996, he returned to teach English at Sweet Home again and coaching. He started his admin program in the summer of 1999 and served first as the athletic director and vice principal at Sweet Home Middle School, and then the same role for 4 more years at Sweet Home High School. In 2006, he became the associate principal at Sherwood Middle School, and by 2008-2009, he was supposed to be the planning principal for Laurel Ridge Middle School that year and not have a job as a principal, but he ended up being the interim principal of Sherwood Middle School with 1,250 kids in it, by the way, at the current Hawksview building, 1,250 kids. And he was the planning principal for Laurel Ridge at the same time. He did both jobs. Then he opened Laurel Ridge in 2009 and remained its principal till 2014. And from 2014 to present, he has served as our HR director. That's 42 years of serving kids in various communities, nearly half of it right here in Sherwood. One of my favorite things about Steve is how grounded he is and that he knows what really matters in life. In fact, it's interesting. This is one thing that we've started doing in our executive meetings on Monday mornings the last couple of weeks at the advice of Dr. Downs is that Steve has been asked to come up with a pearl of wisdom for the rest of us. And they've been really quite amazing. And he's consistently done that and helped me staying grounded by bringing me different perspectives on a variety of issues, generally when I need it the most. I'll come to his office frustrated by someone or something. I know it's a safe place that I can go to vent. He'll listen quietly, and then he'll give me some perspective that causes me to think about the problem differently, helps me get to a solution. And I can only imagine what an effective youth pastor he must have been to bring that perspective to some young people who really needed it, because he's certainly done that for me over the years. And although there are too many things too numerous to list about Steve, one of my favorites is the ability to laugh, even when things get tough. My office is adjacent to the HR office, and I hear his belly laugh reverberate through the walls every single day. His laugh literally penetrates walls, and it makes me smile every time. But it's the situations that make him laugh that are really part of what makes Steve Steve. And one example comes with working for Carrie Looney for many years. And I talked to Carrie before I shared this story, and she said it was fine to share. For those of you who know Carrie, she wears her heart on her sleeve. When she's happy, the joy literally emanates from her. And when she's frustrated, Carrie recently told me when Steve was her supervisor, she would go to him hot about one thing or another. And then Steve would just burst out laughing when she said it. He said he would just laugh hysterically. She said the laughter would calm her down, make her laugh. Steve would hear what she had to say, provide her with some perspective that helped her think about the situation differently, and help her move forward on with her day. And Steve has done that for many of us for over the years. And Steve, we'll miss your laughter, your wisdom, and most importantly, we'll miss you. We wish you nothing but the best in retirement.
Thank you, everyone. It's really hot in here. It was unexpected. I just, I do want to say really quickly, I had no idea how impactful the community of Sherwood would be when I moved here 19 years ago. This has been, for Sandy and for me, this has been the highlight of my career. So thank you to all of you.
This section of the June meeting is always very like you don't know if you're gonna cry or you're gonna laugh and cry and do all the things. I think that obviously we're so blessed to have you in our district for this long, for you to work with our students and our kids and share your gifts. And we're so incredibly proud to have had you as long as we have, whether it was here for 10 years or 52 years. I think I went to school with your kids, Bruce. We're just so incredibly proud that you are here, and we are so happy and excited for your future, and you get to do all the fun things that one day hopefully we'll all get to do as well. If anyone else has any comments, feel free to share.
Yeah, I just want to, same sentiment. I know I have so many amazing memories of working with you, and I hear all your guys' stories, and our kids are so incredibly lucky to have had such amazing people in their lives. So we are so, so grateful. I'm so happy for you all that you get to go into retirement. It's beautiful outside. It's sunny. It's the best time of year ever to retire. And we just wish you many, many good new memories in your next chapter.
I would triple that as well. I've been here quite a while and I have two young ones and, well, they're high schoolers now, but they're kind of running to every face that stood up there today and some more than once or twice. Maybe I wasn't always the best person in their face. But what I really appreciate is just your commitment and steadiness, calmness, all of you, whether it's Bruce and company or Steve. And I will tell you one thing, because to beware, Bruce particularly, I'm looking at you two guys because you might pull a Tim Smith. So beware. Somebody mentioned institutional knowledge, and I really think that that is very true. The wisdom that y'all have, it's sometimes really saddens me that it just goes poof. So don't be surprised if somebody, I'm sure you've told them, reach out anytime, but don't be surprised. Tim is still around working, and Bruce, I know you can drive a bus, so we'll see. But thank you so much to you all.
And on behalf of myself and our team, but I'll just speak for me right now. I just want to say thank you. Many of you had an opportunity to get to know me a little bit, and you've been so warm and welcoming in my first year with you and at Sherwood. One thing I wanted to share is that a sentiment I share, which is there takes a lot to get this district moving in the direction we all want. And as I mentioned in this amazing and powerful stories, each of you played a role in helping to make sure that kids will have success, and also that your colleagues and peers have success too, and that they want to be here. There are so many things that were mentioned, and yet I know if we were to create a job description for most of your positions, it would be incredibly difficult to find those things that you think maybe no one notices. And I want to let you know that you do. You noticed. You know what you did. And if any of those things helped at least one kid, to me, I'm just super appreciative of that. And I know most of you, it's even hard to stand up there or to be up there to hear anything. What I want to share with you is our deep gratitude, and want you to know, like this is a worthy endeavor to come support and work for schools. Are we perfect? Sure, but no, we aren't. But you helped us get better. It was. And I just want to highlight those things that sometimes they don't feel like people saw, and maybe they didn't, and maybe we didn't. And I want to say I'm sorry for that. I want to say, but and I'm appreciative of your incredible hard work, and I'm looking forward to your next journey and to staying in touch with all of our folks. And yes, to Hans, you have a great point. Be prepared for those calls to say, where is this? How do we do this? What are you doing? And if you change your number, we also get that. So on behalf of our whole team, I just want to say thank you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to board updates. I don't believe any board members have an update this afternoon. Okay, great. Moving on. I mean, I guess. Okay, superintendent update. We're trying to get going.
So we did, I'll give an update, but before I do want to just say many of the retirees, I know they need to get on to their retirement. So if you need to leave, there's no, you are welcome to stay, but I know that many of you have shared that you need to go. So. I'm going to have just a focused superintendent report tonight on a gratefulness towards our senior parents and caregivers. This week, we have an opportunity to celebrate our seniors, and not just at graduation, but during the entire week. And I wanted to specifically highlight that for many of our students and families, this is just an incredibly celebratory week. There's a lot behind that. There's a lot from when that kid first starts going to school till you get a chance to say congratulations their senior year. That's not true for all of our families and for all of our kids and their experiences, and that's okay too. But what I want to say to them is they have a long journey. And my heart is with them and with all of our kids this week. It's going to be really exciting, and we want to encourage everyone. I want to thank our staff who have, like you heard these stories today, and this is just a glimpse of what we try to get to at reaching kids and families. And I'm just appreciative of their commitment. To hear their stories of our seniors this year, it's really powerful. And there's a lot of, there's some celebrations and graduation parties and other things that are really pretty touching and heartwarming. And specifically in Sherwood, what I've appreciated is that we have many of our staff have worked in multiple buildings and at multiple levels. And they know families, they know siblings, they know parents, they know grandparents, and their connections are really powerful. And it's just touching. And it's one of the many reasons why I really enjoy this community. And so I want to say to all the seniors and the caregivers and families, have an awesome week. And if the journey's been tough or you didn't quite make it yet, we want you to hang in. We want you to stick with it. We work with families of students that maybe haven't quite got there yet. And even to get them their diploma online or to get their diploma in time, they have until the summer to do it. And it doesn't count against them. They can graduate on time through the summer. So we encourage families, we encourage students to have an incredible week. And I just wanted I wanted to say thank you. This is an opportunity to say thank you to our last regular board meeting of the year for your commitment and leaning into celebrating with our seniors this week. So thank you.
Well, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your update. I also want to congratulate you on your first year of making it through the academic year. Not without its fun. And I think we can all say that we're impressed. Our working relationship is flourishing. I'm really excited for the next years that I have 2 more years left on the board. I'm excited for the next 2 years and planning with you and working with you and doing that much better and working together at getting finally feeling like maybe the work we've been doing over the past few years is really paying off and we're on a good track right now. Stability, I can't use that word strong enough. That is a gift in itself. And I can't say that for other school districts around us. And the gift of stability to this community and our students and families is paramount. And I'm really grateful that we've gotten to a place where we can provide that for our community. So with that, I don't believe anyone else has another board update, but we will move on to the consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
A motion to adopt the consent agenda. I forgot to do this.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Moving to public comment, there is no public comment tonight, so we'll scooch past that. We're going into information and discussion with Marlene Carroll to talk about the third-party survey update.
All right. Okay, so tonight we're going to share a little bit about our partnership with Studer Education. This is the second year that we've done our third-party survey with this group. And Studer Education does leadership coaching for school districts as well as surveys that they kind of collect and organize all the data. And so one that alleviates some of the strain for us. We don't have the capacity really to do that, but then it also just supports the anonymous nature of the survey. And I'm going to share some of the results with you all tonight, give you a chance to ask some questions. Nope, too far. Nope, good enough. Okay, there's a delay. All right, so I wanted to show this slide to you because we've been doing a lot of work with our strategic plan this year. And part of that is because we're really trying to work towards our systems and our alignment of our goals and our measurements and the different things that we do to try to improve the school and school district and student achievement. And so imagine that the arrow here is actually our strategic plan, and that we're slowly moving toward the arrow on the right to really align all of our little initiatives to large initiatives, all of our system change ideas to really move in the right direction. And that arrow is defining our work as our strategic plan, which you approved last month. Okay, so the goal of doing this survey is, yes, to find out important information and how our employees feel about their experience here in Sherwood, as well as how our parents and caregivers perceive their experience here in Sherwood. But the real importance of it is to, one, get baseline results, which we received last year because it was our first year doing the survey. Give opportunities to roll it out as our building leaders and seek input, and then create action plans. So although the survey is important, it really is a tool that we're going to use and we have been using this year to really improve and get better at what we're doing and shifting our practices to get better at what we're doing. I'm going to give you a minute. We shared this slide with you last year when we rolled this out from Studer Education. So I'll give you a chance just to read it. This is kind of the slide that we use when we think about our data. So we're really looking at reviewing it to try to find insights that people provide us. And that is never more so than when we can compare one year to another and really see areas that we've made some growth and areas that we want to continue to improve upon. So I'll start with the employee experience. And I want you to know that in your packets, you have our comparison data that you can take a look at. And I'll walk you through some key features of it as we go through. It looks like this. Yeah, keep digging. You'll find it. And it says Sherwood School District Employee Experience Survey. And I'll highlight a few key things, but then you can also look at it at your convenience. So the purpose and the process here is employees have the opportunity to take the survey, and it provides us information around what they feel about the district, what they feel about their immediate work environment. But it also gives them an opportunity to recognize other employees in the district. And then that gives us understanding of who is doing what and who we should be celebrating, who needs support. And so there's a lot of good information that comes out of it, including areas for improvement. We keep the survey open for about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. We start digging into this information already as soon as we receive it back. So this year, about 540 participants took the survey, all in English, and our district overall mean was 3.84. And I'll talk about that a little bit in a minute. The greatest strengths, which means the 4 areas that folks in the districts noted that were of highest scores, were I believe my work positively impacts those we serve. I feel a sense of pride when I tell people where I work. I have a clear understanding of my expectations as an employee, and I believe that leaders in my immediate work environment are genuinely concerned for my welfare. So those are the areas that our employees overall rated us the strongest in, and we're really proud of those results. We think that tells a clear story of pride in the district and working in the district, and that we know that that provides meaningful experiences for not just our staff, but our students. We also have some areas where we need to continue to improve. So areas for opportunity, these would be the 4 areas that we scored the lowest in. I feel that organizational level resources are allocated to maximize effectiveness across the district. So we scored lower in that than the other areas. I believe organization level information is communicated in a timely manner across the organization. I have the opportunity to give input on decisions that affect my job. And I feel that resources in my immediate work environment are allocated to maximize effectiveness. So what we can do now with that information during our rollout is what we can do with that information in our rollout now is then we can go back to our staff and say, and dig deeper into those questions. So maybe it's a question about resource allocation, and it's what would support you in understanding how we allocate resources, what more information can we give you, what would help you feel successful in this area, and we can then dig in deeper and try to resolve some of those maybe concerns. All right, this next bit is important to note because I'm going to walk you through what these scores mean on your data sheet. So if you look at just the front cover page of your employee experience, you're going to notice it starts by participation, and that's pretty clear. So last spring, we had 563 employees participate. This spring, we had 540 employees participate. And then you get to the Net Promoter Score for the organization overall. So this is the entire school district, and it's how likely are you to recommend your organization. And you'll notice that our organization is at a 30.74. And the way you interpret this is if you look at the bottom of the box in blue, a 30 to 50 is a strong performance, and it's that we're sustaining and growing along. And what that means is that we have more passive and promoters in our employees, total employees, than we do distractors, which is really good. Obviously, we're working towards being in the 50 to 100% or 100 scale, which is excellent performance, but we are making a lot of growth. Interestingly, you'll notice that there was a significant change. We were last year at an 18.26, and this year we're at a 30.74 for organization. We can do the same thing, but with the school and immediate work area. And that's really the Net Promoter Score for your immediate work environment. Generally, people are going to score their immediate work environment higher than they would the overall organization. And this is true here as well. So we see that most of us are in their school or immediate work environment are scoring at a 34.57. Again, that's a smaller increase, but still an increase. Okay. Let's jump into parent and caregiver. Okay, similarly, I got it somewhere. We also ask parents and caregivers a series of questions. And the goal here is to improve and see what we need to do, understand where we should spend our time and our focus. And then there's about 17 items for parents and caregivers, and we generally keep this survey open for longer, 3 to 4 weeks. So let's look at that one. Okay. This year we had 914 participants. About 2% of the survey takers took the survey in a different language other than English. And our district overall mean was a 4.10. Parents noted that our greatest strengths when collected all together were that they believe the school is clean and well maintained. A really important one that district leaders noticed is that they're treated with respect at this school, which is incredibly important and valuable for us. When our parents walk into our schools, we want them to be treated with a deep level of respect. Another one was, I believe my child has the necessary classroom supplies and equipment for effective learning. This is another area that we want our students to feel like no matter who they are, they have everything they need to learn and be ready to learn. And then one of the last strength is one that I think is very poignant and what we heard from tonight, and I am proud to say that I have a child at this school. And that really means something to all the staff working so hard in those buildings, that parents are walking away with a sense of pride that their kid attends that school. Areas for opportunities are, I receive positive phone calls, emails, or notes about my child from the school. I regularly receive feedback from school staff on how well my child is learning. Overall, I'm satisfied with my child's bus transportation to and from school, and I believe school rules are enforced consistently at this school. And so those are some of the areas for opportunity. We're taking this information and we are connecting with our site councils, and we're kind of digging into those areas for improvement, and we're saying, okay, well, here's this, where can we go from here? What would need to change in order to improve this score? Other schools will take it to their PACs. Other leaders kind of share this information a little bit more broadly. Again, our net promoter scores. So we're looking for scores within that 30 and above range. And so you have the same thing, but now you have it in a parent caregiver experience. It's change data. So you have your baseline. And let's just talk about that top page, and then you can peruse the rest independently. So last year we had about 1,034 parents and caregivers take the survey, and this year around 914. We had an increase in our net promoter score for the organization overall. So last year it was around 16.03, and we saw a very significant increase of 36.52. Which is great. We saw more people move onto the passive and promoter side. And then our immediate work area, which would, for this one, would not be immediate work area, it'd be where your child actually goes to school. And that also saw an increase of 17.64 last spring to 39.23. So getting closer there to excellence. All right. I briefly touched on this, but now what do we do with the data? Well, we take the data now. Once we kind of talk to some of our parents, we talk to some staff, we get more feedback. And this is some of the big work that we'll do in June with our building principals, our instructional coaches, our deans, and that's when we start creating essentially our school improvement plans. And we look at this data to kind of see, okay, what can we do that aligns with our strategic plan that will really tackle some of these needs that we're hearing from our families and from our employees to increase our scores certainly, but to really just make our schools a better place for our students and families. All right, any questions?
Yeah, this is great data. It looked like there was a drop in participation at the high school. Was there
A drop.
any systemic reason for that, or?
I don't know if there was a systemic reason for a drop of data in the high school. It's hard to know why. We tried different things to put the information out, but I'm not sure that, there is a little bit of survey overload that sometimes happens, I think, with everyone, right? You get surveys all the time. You go to the grocery store, you get a survey, you do this, you get a survey, it comes on your phone. And there's just a lot of ask. And sometimes if you already have already have filled it out for one or two other children, by the time you get to high school, you might not fill it out as much. Generally, in our experience for schools as a district, our highest engaged parent group is at elementary, always, and then some middle, and then even less at high school. I would assume the same thing is happening here.
No, just curious.
Yeah, great question.
It did look
We
like-
are looking at
Yeah.
that as well. And
Yeah.
how do we promote it differently?
I mean, at least it looked like the responses were still consistent, even from the smaller
Yeah.
population, which is good. So we're
Right.
still getting what we hope
bell
is a
curve, yeah.
representative sample, but yeah, just something to think about.
Yeah.
I did think it was interesting. I feel like I saw the call out to do this survey a lot. And I had a few friends that mentioned to me, like, we did this last year. And I was like, I know that's the point, so that like we could see improvement. So I didn't go back and read like our messaging, but I'm wondering if we needed a message better that like our goal was to evaluate improvement. Because it seemed like maybe that was missed by some people. I took it so fast because I'm so A-type that I didn't even read the any of the stuff. So one other thing I noticed though, and I'm curious if they find this across the board, our middle and high schools score lower than our district as a whole. And I think it's kind of what you're talking about, that parents are just more in tune and involved with elementary schools. But with that being said, our middle and high schools scores, almost every single one of them went up from last year.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really the thing to like note. And when you look at it compared to the district, it can be a little bit, it can kind of twist your eye to thinking like, we're not doing so good. But then if you look at the year prior, we did see improvement in almost every category. So I thought that was wonderful to see.
Yeah, it was really, I think we're really proud of that. And yes, I think, that's something that we looked at as well, is what is causing that shift.
Yeah.
Although there is growth, it's maybe not exactly what we want to see. Sometimes that happens with leadership change, right? As you get used to it, just like when we introduce new curriculum materials, the first year is always a little bit different. And so that could be part of it. It could be that, fewer parents took it, or, different parent groups take it. And so there's a variety of things, but we are seeing kind of the bell curve, which is what you want to kind of see, just to make sure you have a normal set of data.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, Marlene, fasten your seatbelt. I have a couple things. All right.
I'm ready.
But I would,
Thanks.
I'll let this go, but I agree. The total numbers of the survey are down. So I think however, whatever it is to keep those numbers up, because that's where the data becomes more relevant and more reliable.
Absolutely.
So I'll leave that, but also in the employee surveys, there were quite dramatic drops in certain areas, not to belabor the point, but facilities and operation had 8 people and 20 the time before. So there's areas to work to get the numbers up. But I think you addressed it beautifully. I did have two other things. The charter school is not in here, or is that the Independence Academy?
No, Independence Academy is our transition program. And we don't survey our charter school and the charter school family. So they don't operate entirely independent, but they don't operate within this.
Okay, so there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
But so the Independence Academy is that 18 to 21-year-old
Yes,
extra
that's
high
right.
school stuff.
Yep.
Okay, I noticed that. A few respondents there.
Yeah.
And I think what I looked at from the employee one, I thought was very important. Those multitudes of questions lumped as culture. It seemed like there was a huge jump in the positive culture of the employees, which I think is such an important building block. That was well noted in here. So that's a very positive sign. And I really appreciate that, seeing that change and seeing that improvement. And that's about it. Yeah. That's everything. Thank you.
I think this is great. I love seeing all the data that's going in the right direction. It's nice to have that last year's baseline. I think obviously going forward, we just need to get creative with like, how do we kill 2 birds with 1 stone, where we've got parents, we've got them physically somewhere, and maybe we can get them the survey and have them do it while we're at spring conferences, since it's a spring survey, or whatever however we do it, or like if we're doing a PLC with our employees, whatever we're doing. Just so we get more data, because the more we get, obviously, the better it is. So I know we'll get creative in our messaging. We'll get creative for next year, and so we can get more. But yeah, I did notice like it did drop half at the high school, but I also understand it. But it still went up, so that was nice to see as well. But yeah, I agree. Parents are more paying attention at the elementary school, and they're just ready to be done with their high schoolers. Thank you. Okay, and then we're just gonna keep moving on. Brady Stretz is here with our facilities update.
Thank you so much. I'm super excited. Okay, so I'm going to take you back all the way back to last Friday night. So last Friday night, I came on campus to watch them playoff softball with the family, and on my way there, I passed by a field full of youth soccer players working on some off-season soccer work. I passed by 35 kids doing some tennis workouts. I passed by the Performing Arts Center where there was a drama production occurring. I walked past and later visited Springfest, run by all the high school clubs in our stadium. I thankfully didn't spot or get spotted by 300 basketball refs on site at SHS doing OSAA training. And then made it to the softball quarterfinals and enjoyed the game with my family. This is a very typical Friday night, technically in our off hours at Sherwood School District. And it's been a real pleasure this year to get to work with the facilities team and focus on facilities. I brought with me tonight Kyle Larson, who has been a part of the school district for 8 years and was recently the interim and now the permanent facility supervisor. And he leads a team of amazing individuals who are so committed to keeping our grounds and our buildings sparkly, shiny, and squeaky clean. We take such great pride in being able to connect to the community in that way. Kyle and the team are super mission driven. We are here to inspire a joyful community of learners, and events like Friday night are part of that community piece and that joyful piece. I mean, it was idyllic, really. It was a really amazing thing to be a part of. And just as many events were happening at the middle school and here that same night, all of our fields were in use by a variety of groups from Sherwood and beyond. And you know, something we've really focused on this year, always job one, is let's make school the best it can be. Let's bring kids together to learn, and let's do it in a place where they feel safe, they feel comfortable, and they can focus on the learning and each other. And then, almost as important to us is let's get the most out of everything that we are so lucky to have here, and let's give it back to our community in our off hours. And off hours, like technically maybe we have 5 off hours on a regular day from midnight to 5. All the rest of the time we're using them, and we want to bring as many people in as possible. And besides Kyle, I want to recognize Ryan Henderson, who's joined our team as our fields and facilities specialist this year. And he's been the liaison between the school district and everybody who wants to come in and rent our facilities, especially our local community groups. A huge part of our mission is that the kids in Sherwood get special access and get to be on our campuses after hours their whole career here. Ryan's brought such a heart for this. He's spent almost 2 decades as a teacher and a coach and a parent here, and he's got such a passion for this part of our work. He is meeting with every single group and organization just to kind of get a sense of how things are going for them, what's going well, and how we can improve our partnership. I think something that we've really worked to do is, like everybody else, our operations costs, our general operating costs, they're rising. Staffing, energy, you name it, they're all going up. And we're working hard for our outside groups to make sure that we're covering the cost of those and making sure we can keep offering such great facilities to them. And we're not raising our prices on our local groups a single dollar, a single penny. And we're really, really excited about that. Part of our commitment is to get them in here and reduce those barriers so that all of our kids can come and be a part of our district from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. And it's been a really remarkable group to join and be a part of. And we're excited to support graduation and promotion. And we're excited to get into the parts of the buildings that are hard to work on during the school year and turn things around for another awesome school year in the fall. Thanks.
Thank you. I just want to say facilities is a beast, and it's kind of the unsung hero of district operations because it's something that people want to see and they appreciate it when it looks amazing, but they don't understand if Kyle doesn't show up today or he's sick or something, you know, so kudos to Kyle and Ryan and Brady this year for this heavy lift of kind of getting, I mean, you just saw like your work in the survey. People appreciate that was a strength that they really admired the cleanliness and the overall facade and look of the facilities. And that's a testament to you three. And that's amazing work. Facilities, like I said, like it can help your district, but it takes a lot of work to do it right. And I'm just really proud of the work that you have poured into it, and you have poured into it, Kyle and Ryan, taking over the operation side of the reservations, which is no small feat because you have to be a liaison to the whole community and kind of like schmooze a lot of people, and it's not easy. So that's great. I'm just really happy that we've kind of turned the corner on this, and I look forward to next year and only doing better. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Really quick, as a soon to jump out of here and be a youth softball coach, I know how many outside groups you all have to work with and how, many different perspectives and needs there are out there in the community. But going around to surrounding communities, it's always really apparent that we have really well maintained fields, really well maintained buildings. We are proactive in terms of making sure the investments the community has made, that those are maintained and that we get the most out of those dollars. So thank you for, all the hard work that goes into maintaining that stuff. And then also thank you for all the hard work that goes into coordinating the use of all those facilities.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna move on to action items. We have Ms. Marlene Carroll, with the secondary health instructional materials adoption, second read.
All right. So last month, district staff presented information to the board around our 6th through 8th grade health materials and our grade 10 health A and B. Both of the core publishers are on the state adopted list. And then we had a couple of supplemental materials for you to review and take a look at for our adoption, to complete the secondary adoption for our comprehensive health education. So this evening, we propose that materials are taken to the board for second read, and we recommend them for adoption.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I move that we adopt the proposed secondary health instructional materials as presented.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Next is the secondary science instructional materials adoption, second read.
Okay, so in addition, our teams at secondary have been very busy. This is to fulfill our science adoption. So these are all of our AP courses and our elective science courses. And again, last month we presented on these. And we're asking tonight that the materials that were presented are approved or are for second read
Gotcha.
and recommended for adoption. Oof.
Okay, is there a recommended motion?
Madam
Oh.
Chairman, is it appropriate to ask a question at this point, the way it works? Can I,
You can, I mean, you can, it's,
or just
Go for
not
it.
a question, a note that was
it kind of
kind of
depends.
left unanswered, but just an awareness note.
Go
or
for it.
That, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Now that's out of the thing. So I did this last time and it was addressed very well, Marlene, by your teachers, but I think there is some concern from a number of students about the new science, 1, 2, and 3. It had a fancy name. And its integration with AP Calc classes and graduation requirements. It seemed as if those didn't mesh well for a person opting into AP, trying to opt out of a segment of Science 3. And it was left, well, we're working on it because the curriculum hasn't even started yet. So I just wanted to make a comment that I know the counselors know about it, but just in the future, it may be a problem that some of those courses don't count for graduation. In the standard science, forensics doesn't count. AP Bio doesn't count for requirement. Science 1, 2, and 3 does, and they can't. It wasn't clear how they might interchange.
So if a student is taking, well, you're correct first, you're correct on the forensic science. So forensic science will now be considered an elective, so it won't count towards science credit. And the reason why we don't count it towards science credit is because it's not teaching the standards. It is teaching great instructional materials, but they're elective options. They're not the core standards that we're required to teach by the state. So that's why that's moved to an elective. In terms of an AP class will replace those credits. So they wouldn't be credit deficient for taking an AP class. It just would be, the AP would be in lieu of that credit. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes, it does. That
Okay.
just was left unclear. But
Yep.
as long as that avenue's there, and
yes.
physiology, for example, was left in limbo. Is it going to count or not count? and anatomy, the same thing. So maybe they don't teach the standards, but they're
Yeah,
advanced courses.
some of them don't teach the standards, some of them are advanced courses. We call those electives, although some of the electives will teach the standards, and if they do, they can count towards that. And so but any of the AP ones that are the AP Life Science, AP Environmental Science, those will be AP Physics, AP Chem. Those will the students don't have to take Life Science A or Life Science 1, Physical Science 2. They can just get the credit through the AP Environmental Science, for example. Does that help?
Is the question
Well, it's
asking
confusing.
like not a typical path? I guess what,
Right.
there's not as many of those questions. Say your daughter wants to do that altered path than the physical, the 1, 2, 3.
For example, yeah.
For example, so would that just be like a question with her counselor of how to go that route?
Absolutely. And that is true for all of our, for majority of our core. So students can either take, they can go the algebra pathway and go all the way through calc, or they can go data and statistics.
Right,
That still counts towards math credit, but one might be AP statistics and one might be AP calc. Both courses count towards the math standards and towards the 3 years graduation requirements. Same is true for English. This is kind of adopting a similar model for science.
Does that answer your question?
Not completely. but
Okay.
Basically,
But I
sit down
think-
with your counselor and.
I think that what it means is there is a path forward for those students who don't want to do the 1, 2, 3 route. That there are classes that supersede those requirements. If they, especially if they're an AP course. Is that fairly accurate? Okay, and
In principle and in our matrix. And I am happy to kind of sit down with you offline if that would be easier.
that matrix would be like in the forecasting guide, correct?
Yeah, and the academic planning guide each year gets updated. So it'll be updated with the current classes going into 25, 26. We don't update like 26, 27, but we update for the following
And
year.
that might, like, a good flow chart
Mhm.
is always appreciated, you
No
know,
problem.
if this, then therefore.
Yep.
Type of situation. Okay, are we good? Okay, wonderful. Is there a motion?
I move we adopt the proposed secondary science instructional materials as presented.
Wonderful. Is there a second? Oh, do that again.
Oh, a second?
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
I
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The next meeting of the board will be held right now at 6:25 for the budget hearing. This meeting is adjourned. Okay? Yeah. Sorry. Larry. Okay. We're gonna just go right in? Okay. Okay, I am calling the budget hearing to order. The public hearing on approved 2025-26 budget, staff report on the approved budget document from Mr. Gary Bennett.
Thank you very much. Ms. Dick, can you pass those handouts down with the board for me, please? And maybe pull up that sheet while I'm talking. So, as you know, we've been talking about the budget for a couple of months now. We had a series of meetings, couple of meetings, one in small groups, 2 in public. And last month, or last week, 2 weeks ago, it was last month, but 2 weeks ago, it was both. The budget committee approved the budget. Since that time, we've had no comments on the budget. I do have one small adjustment to make to the budget that's called out on this sheet here. And this is a copy of the form that we put in as a notice of the budget hearing. And when filling it out, we noticed a clerical error in the budget. And those 2 numbers that were highlighted, we had one transfer on the revenue side that was entered into beginning fund balance, which is code 5400, and it should have been in code 5200. And so when there's an error of that nature, it doesn't change anything the board approved. In fact, we didn't even have to make this change. But the statute allows, if the budget officer finds an error at the next meeting, announces the error and announces the correction, then that correction just be made. The board doesn't have to do anything. And so we wanted to make sure our transfers balanced correctly. It wasn't a requirement, but it makes the budget a little bit cleaner, so we made that change and that's noted there. So the only comment we received on the budget was from the budget officer who noticed this change that needed to be made. And so if there are no questions, I would take a motion to adopt the budget, or I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I just want to make a comment that I really appreciate the transparency of that. I think that's what the community, I know that this board appreciates it based on everything we've gone through in the past few years. And I love that it's a minute fix, but I love that we brought attention to it to go down the path of transparency that we promised this community. So thank you very much for that. Is there a motion, or does anyone have a question?
I move to approve the resolution adopting the budget for the 2025-26 school year.
Great. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, motion carries 5-0.
I move to approve the resolution making appropriations for the 2025-26 school year.
Did you want to speak before that?
If there are no questions, I'm happy for the motions to just go forward.
Okay, thank you. And that's the one with the three, correct? The three motions? Oh, the second one, correct. Okay, we are doing those individually. Okay. Sorry, say that again. So make the motion.
I move to approve the resolution making appropriations for the 2025-26 school year.
Thank you. Second?
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, motion 3.
I move to approve the resolution imposing and categorizing taxes for the 2025-26 school year.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The next meeting of the board will be held on June 23rd, 2025 at 12:30 p.m. for the purpose of board planning. This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.